Governors, another year has flown by in New Jersey with lots in the news, including the presidential election. Governor Kean, what will be remembered about the 2016 election?
This was started with being the state and having your own governor running, which is always fascinating. But add then Donald Trump beating everybody, starting in the primaries and going right through the general election. He put all the political things you and I took for granted. You can't take them for granted anymore. Polls aren't right. Got outspent 10-1 when he thought money was such a problem. Never was a favorite. I mean, said things that were unforgivable and would doom any candidate. Yet he beat everybody.
If you were writing that history book, Governor Florio, what would it say?
Mr. Trump, President-elect Trump, was very good at giving them specific answers to the question that they wanted. Clear, precise, no nuance. I happen to think most of them were wrong, but the fact of the matter is he satisfied the need that people had to get specific, definitive answers to their questions.
Certainly an election then everybody's going to remember, you think?
Yeah, they'll remember it particularly when the wall doesn't get built, when all the coal miners don't get their jobs back, when people are not kept out of the country because of their religion. Yeah, this will be remembered.
Bridgegate, another big story in the news this year. We all followed the trial. 2 of Governor Christie's aides were convicted of orchestrating massive tie-ups on the George Washington Bridge. What will be remembered about Bridgegate?
Stupidity. I mean, how ridiculous, if that's the case, that people thought they'd do this enormously bad thing to get the support of one Democratic mayor. I'll tell you, when I was governor, I don't know about you, I don't know who the mayor of that town was. It's a small town. I can't tell you who the mayor was because it wasn't a big town, it wasn't a big mayor. And to do that and sort of bring down a governorship in many ways over such a stupid thing was, well, remember it as just that. Remember it as a thing that's inconceivable, because when I first read about it, that can't happen. That would be so stupid. And that's what it was.
Will this have an impact on the office of governor, do you think, Governor Florio, down the road?
I'm not sure, because it is so singularly focused. I mean, what this represents is the awareness that all people in New Jersey and America just run away from arbitrary actions. If there's anything that unites the American people, it's our opposition to arbitrary and capricious activities. Political retaliation is as arbitrary as you can get. And this is something that really does offend everyone. And I don't think it'll be lasting, because I think it's just focused on a particular individual or a couple of individuals. So hopefully someone with a different value sense will be able to overcome the problem associated with this.
Let me ask you about the takeover of Atlantic City. Jobs lost, casinos closed, revenues way down. The city is suffering. How will history judge the takeover, do you think, Governor Kean?
Oh, I think they probably say it should have been done years ago. Or something major should have been done. I mean, you've had a city which had all the advantages for a while, a monopoly on gambling, all the revenue coming in, and failed. Just basically failed. And that's sort of inexcusable. It means it was terribly run. And I think the state probably should have stepped in years ago. And to let it go as far as it did, till it actually goes into bankruptcy, is not just Atlantic City's failure, but I think the state's failure as well.
How grave is this, given that 40 years have gone by since the referendum passed to establish gambling in Atlantic City? There's a lot at stake.
This represents a problem we have in New Jersey. The absence of good planning. Atlantic City is an example of that thing. We had, when I was in office, we had consultants come in and tell us that Atlantic City, and this is 25 years ago, could sustain at most 9 casinos. They got up to 12 or 13 casinos, and that was before competition came in. So they didn't plan appropriately, and we're paying the price for that.
We only have time to touch on a few of the top stories in New Jersey this year. But before we go, I'd like to get your opinions. Going into 2017, the economy of the state, what's facing the state?
Catastrophe. I mean, the pension system that we could talk about, the state healthcare benefit system, the commitment that the governor's made for $5 billion to go into a tunnel to Manhattan, which we don't have. So we've got some fiscal problems that are going to be monumental.
How do you see it, Governor?
Look, the pension problem is the worst in the country. It's worse than any other state. And we can't sustain it, we can't pay it. I'll tell you this, if I was one of those candidates we know about, I would withdraw, unless they do something about that pension, because the next governor cannot be successful unless there is some sort of pension reform very early on in next year.
2017, a gubernatorial election year in New Jersey. Lots to talk about in the new year. Governors, thank you for sharing your views.
Thank you.